Hello, today's lesson is on marijuana, so I'm just going to go through this PowerPoint with some basic information about what it is, how does it affect the body and the brain. So just listen along and jot down some notes. So our EQ today is how can using marijuana damage the user's health? So when we're finished, you should be able to explain the different effects marijuana can have on the different parts of our body. So, what is marijuana? It's the most often used illegal drug in this country. And we know that there are, I think, 11 states now that have legalized it for recreational use, and a few more who've legalized it for medicinal use. The main active chemical in marijuana is THC. That's what causes the high. It stands for delta tetrahydrocannabinol, so THC. That's the mood-altering drug. There's also over 400 other chemicals found in the cannabis plant. THC affects the brain the most. What does it look like? You can see the pictures here. It's a mixture of dried and shredded flowers and leaves of the hemp plant. So the progression is you can see the leaf with the little bud, they call it, at the bottom of the leaf, and the users dry it up so it's a dried substance, and then there's different ways people use it. The picture is what they call a joint. That's one way people smoke it. Some common street names are pot, Mary Jane, dope, weed, and grass. The signs of use: a person might have some learning problems because of the way it affects the brain, memory loss, it really zaps motivation, causes red bloodshot eyes, and then the person sometimes gets really silly or giggly for no reason. And then as it's wearing off, the person tends to get very sleepy. For the long-term use, people who frequently smoke marijuana can have the same sort of respiratory problems as smokers, so maybe lots of coughing and phlegm, frequent bronchitis, and colds. Short-term effects, so when a person is using it in the short term, because they're smoking it, they get a dry mouth and throat. When they're high, it causes problems with their memory and their learning. It might distort their perceptions of their sight, sounds, time, and touch. They'll have problems with decision making and thinking, coordination problems, poor decision making, and some people get anxious and paranoid when they are high on marijuana. Like I said earlier, some long-term use, people who do smoke marijuana frequently and over the long term, they could develop cancer, respiratory diseases, immune system weakened, memory loss, and of course, addiction. So that's a short review of marijuana. Now I want you to go and read the article and watch the short Edpuzzle video. And have a happy, healthy weekend.